Oh, Brandon, can you hear me?
Oh, yep.
Oh, there you are.
I got a bunch of internet tabs open. There we go.
Oh, okay.
You guys in your fancy background.
Oh, you like that? Huh?
Yeah.
Like the Smoothies with Rufus t-shirt. And in your honor, we have a smoothie today. It's a special
Oh,
smoothie. It's one I brought out of retirement. I used to give this to my girls when they were young. It's eggs raw eggs and orange juice,
Oh my gosh, no.
and they loved it.
I don't know if he's serious or not right now.
He is absolutely serious, and it was disgusting.
That's
Oh my
dog.
goodness.
I used to make them drink it every morning.
Raw
They were
eggs
the
and orange
Hulkamania
juice?
drinks.
Huh?
Hulkamania drinks.
Yeah. So he mixed it up. It's like an orange Julius. If you've ever had one of those, it's frothy.
Oh,
So I did my bachelor's and then a master's in exercise science kinesiology. And through that process, ran into Lance Goike, who worked at IFAST at the time and now does online training somewhere, doing whatever Lance does. So yeah, I interned at IFAST just kind of by happenstance of Lance was TAing for a course I was in. And I was like, hey, I got to find an internship. You know anywhere? And he was like, oh yeah, there's this place I like volunteer at, kind of work at called IFAST. I'd never heard of it. And I was like, oh, sure. Like I got to work somewhere for this internship. And just happened to work out that, Bill and Mike and Ty and Jay and everybody there were really driven and really smart. And then from there, I had gotten into PT school. And the few schools I got into, they told me the price, and I said, nope, not doing that right now. And then from there, kind of took a gap year, worked in a lab or two, kind of got into some basic neuroscience research, and really enjoyed that, and was still kind of training people in that time. I enjoyed that a lot more than I did, training with or working with people or potentially being a PT. Yeah, so I applied to a bunch of neuroscience programs with an interest in neurotrauma specifically, and that's what I do now. I'm a fourth, almost fifth year PhD candidate at the University of Louisville. I work with our spinal cord injury research group. One of my favorite things about the group here, and the main reason I came here out of all the schools I got into, is literally in the building I'm in right now. We have all of our basic science research, so like animal research, cells and dishes type research, drug discovery stuff. And then right across the street, we have our whole clinical research facility and hospital, which specializes in spinal cord injury. So we're able to meet with that group as well and kind of try and merge and think through these hard scientific and clinical problems from both sides of it, from a very basic mechanistic standpoint all the way up to, hey, what should my physical therapist be doing with a spinal cord injury that has this type of function? How can we have that crosstalk between, okay, this is what they're seeing clinically, how does that influence what maybe we should be researching here in more basic science type questions? Yeah, so I do neuroscience all day, all night. That's it. We can talk about more exactly what I research, but yeah, I research spinal cord injury, and I do it in small rodent models.
what's actually happening at the level of the nervous system that makes it so difficult to break those patterns that have been going on for years and years and years?
Yeah, there's a few things. So we'll start with just connection to connection first, right? So if, let's say neuron A connects to neuron B, we'll take a very simplistic view of this. And neuron A connecting to neuron B means that I hit the right position in the bottom of my squat, let's say, right? But if neuron A connects to neuron C, that means that this pathway, maybe I shift to the right just a little bit when I hit the bottom of my squat, or whatever it is, right? Whatever thing you don't want to occur. So if I have a good coach like you all, and I say, Rufus says, hey, did that feel right? And I go, no, I felt my weight a lot on my heels, or I really felt a lot of weight on this side, or I didn't feel this muscle or whatever. And Rufus says, okay, let's kind of attune you to that, and let's figure out a way to do it correctly, right? That might be reducing the weight, whatever it is. It might be doing a different exercise. But what you guys are really trying to do is say, hey, neuron A to neuron B gives me what I want. Let's keep figuring out a way to do this, A and B, A and B, A and B. And let's figure out exercises that don't cause A to C to occur, right? And over time, if I just keep doing the correct squat variation or whatever it is, neuron A and B, there's this idea of Hebbian plasticity, of the more neuron A fires that causes neuron B to fire, they just wire together even harder, right? And if neuron A and neuron C don't fire together anymore because Rufus gave me a better exercise or a better cue, neuron A doesn't fire to neuron C very often, that connection becomes weaker over time, right? Which is why, again, if I had a crappy coach all through middle school and high school, and then I see Rufus later on, if I've wired up A and C, which give me a terrible squat pattern or whatever, it's going to be really hard because I've primed that up to be wired together over time. So now for Rufus to change from A to B or A to C back to A to B is going to be really hard, right? So that pathway is primed up. It's there. So getting that reversal can be harder. The other parts that are a little more basic sciencey. There's something called perineural nets, which are kind of like, if I think all these axons are running everywhere so that neurons can talk to one another, it's essentially like glue that gets laid down over time, and there's more of it, and it's a little bit, I'll say, sturdier, in adults and people that say are inactive. So it's going to be harder to get rid of that glue for new connections to form.
So, but can it be changed because of the plasticity?
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things, right? Is that there's always a potential for it to be changed. It's just how much of an input is it going to take to change it, right? So Rufus, if you had a kid that, again, did snatches, let's say for a year in middle school, and his coach just said, oh, cool, the bar went overhead. And then you see him a year after that, it's probably going to be fairly easy for you to correct it, right? He's only done a year worth of snatches.
Yeah.
Versus if this kid did snatches with this coach from middle school all the way up till he left to college, it might be a little bit harder for you to fix that, right? Because again, A to C is wired up really hard now.
Right.